Welcome to Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Park. Please join my wife and I as we embark on our journey through both national parks. Through this video, you will get a brief glimpse into the sights of both national parks along with some interesting history. I hope you enjoy the ride. The Grand Tetons became the 17th national park in 1929. The Teton Range stretches 40 miles with the highest peak being 13,775 feet. The range began rising 10 million years ago from numerous earthquakes. These earthquakes still exist today. Throughout the park, you will find numerous hiking trails stretching 200 miles. Ponds like this are created by the glacier and snowmelt. Yes, I did say glacier. If you look up the center of the mountains in the main view, you will see one of the 11 remaining active glaciers in the Grand Tetons. Yellowstone is the very first national park and was distinguished as one in 1872 by President Ulysses S. Grant. The land stretches 2.2 million acres and is conveniently situated right over an active supervolcano. Main attractions in the park are the abundance of wildlife, the 10,000 geothermal features, and of course, Old Faithful. One of the animals you will find within Yellowstone is the moose. They are a very evasive animal. There are fewer than 200 moose in the park and are on a steady decline due to hunting outside the park, habitat loss, and predators. Except during rut, moose are found alone or in small family groups. The most abundant large animal found within Yellowstone is the elk. There is an estimate of 10 to 20,000 elk that migrate to Yellowstone during the summer. During the summertime, the bulls like the one in the picture above are found in the higher elevation of Yellowstone. In the fall, the elk migrate to the lower altitude of the Grand Tetons right outside of Jackson. One of the greatest predators of Yellowstone is the grizzly bear. There is an estimate of 690 grizzlies within Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone and northwest Montana are the only areas south of Canada that still have a large grizzly bear population. In 1975, grizzlies were listed as a threatened species due to hunting and habitat loss. One of the rarest photos my wife and I were able to capture was two grizzly cubs in a tree. Grizzly cubs climb trees when they sense danger or look for food. The grizzly in the previous photo is the mom and was waiting right under them. Needless to say, we captured this photo from the safety of our car 20 feet away. The spring and early summer is one of the best times to see grizzlies actively moving within Yellowstone. The best time to see the grizzlies moving are the twilight hours of early morning or evening. Spotting grizzlies requires patience and a keen eye. Although you can't see it in this picture, but the grizzly buff has a tracking device around its neck. Park rangers track the moving patterns of grizzlies within the park. Yellowstone is the only place in the U.S. where bison have lived continuously since the prehistoric times. Even though in 1902 poachers nearly diminished the herd, there is now an estimate of 5,500 buffalo living within the park. One interesting fact is that in the winter, bison will migrate to the hot springs and geysers to stand in the hot water to keep warm during the cold and brutal winters. The majority of the buffalo herd can be found in the northeast part of the park in Lamar Valley. Lamar Valley is often called America's Serengeti for its large and easy-to-see populations of large animals. Among its most famous inhabitants are the Junction Butte and Lamar Canyon wolf packs. Yellowstone is one of the few areas south of Canada where black bears coexist with grizzlies. Only about 50% of black bears in Yellowstone are actually black. The other 50% are brown, blonde, or even cinnamon colored. From 1910 to 1960, visitors were allowed to feed the black bears along park roads. From my selfie experience with the black bear, I learned it is advised to stay at least 100 yards away from a wild animal at all times. Even though I was close, I was never in true danger. Black bears are not known as aggressive animals. They are simply just wanting to roam around and find food. This young guy was just walking around looking for a, you guessed it, picnic basket. Hydrothermal pools are found throughout the park. The water temperature varies from pool to pool but can exceed temperatures of 400 degrees. Many of the bright colors found in the pools come from thermophils, simply microorganisms that group together and thrive in hot temperatures. I definitely want to suggest going hot tubbing in here after hours like previous visitors. Just like the temperature, colors in the pools vary from spot to spot. Not only is the water hot, but can be very acidic. The only pools in the park that are acidic are found at the Norris Geyser Basin. There have been visitors who took a plunge and never came back. Even though the water may be lukewarm at the surface, it can still be boiling at the bottom. Old Faithful is the most popular attraction. If you have the patience, Old Faithful shoots off 8,000 gallons of water over 186 feet into the air every 46 to 92 minutes. Even though there are several other geysers in the park, Old Faithful is the only geyser that goes off as frequent. Hence is the name Old Faithful. As beautiful as Yellowstone is, there can still be tragedy. Lightning strikes cause fires every year and typically only burn 1 acre while burning itself out. In 1988, multiple fires burnt more than 1 million acres of the park. In an average year, there can be 27 fires that are ignited by lightning. So Smokey the Bear says only you can prevent forest fires. Fire has been a key factor in shaping the landscape of Yellowstone. After a fire, native plant species and grasses will grow back thicker and greener than before the fire. From the fires, land will build up resistance to the fire and not start and spread as quickly. Ironically, some plants depend on fires to get rid of the canopy over them so they can thrive. Throughout Yellowstone, you can find 350 identified waterfalls, the largest being the Lower Falls at 308 feet. The Lower Falls is pictured above, taken at a popular location called Artist Point. This canyon is also known as the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone and is roughly 20 miles long. Thank you for visiting the Grand Tetons and the Yellowstone National Park with us. I hope you learned some interesting facts and enjoyed some of the pictures my wife and I took. I hope through this video we have inspired you to get out and explore one of our many national parks.